Welcome to Sleep with Myth. Close your eyes and let the world fade away. Tonight we drift beyond time, where gods dream and stories remember their light. The moon hung low over the ancient valley, glowing brighter than anyone in the kingdom of Asteron had ever seen. It shimmered like a silver heart beating against the darkness, sending pale streams of light across forests, rivers, and mountains. Every creature paused to stare upward, sensing something changing, something waking. On the highest cliff of the moonlit range stood Salus, a boy wrapped in a cobalt cloak that fluttered in the cold wind. 16 winters old, a storyteller's son, a prince of a kingdom he had never served. His mother, Selene of the Nightwind Vale, had vanished on the night of his birth. His father raised him on stories instead of royal lessons, on myths instead of crowns. Tonight, those myths felt too close to truth. Above him, carved into the night sky, shimmered a faint circle of starlight. It pulsed in perfect rhythm with the moon, and Salus felt the whisper, "Come." He gripped the crescent-shaped silver pendant at his neck, his mother's relic. The whisper grew stronger. A gust of wind swirled silver leaves across the cliff. Salus picked one up and felt warmth radiating from it. Impossible on such a cold night. "It's happening again," he whispered. The stories his father once told him returned. When the Moonlit King is chosen, the stars will bow. Tonight the sky felt as though it listened. A voice spoke behind him. "Salus." He turned sharply. A woman in night blue robes stood among the pines. Her eyes shimmered like moonlit water. "I've known your name since your first breath," she said. "For I stood at the edge of the world the night you were born." "Who are you?" Salus asked. She lowered her hood. Her hair glowed with moonlight. "I am Noctara, keeper of the lunar gate, and I have come to guide you to your crown." "My crown," Salus stammered. "The silver crown calls to you," she answered. The pendant at his neck glowed and reshaped, no longer just jewelry but something alive. "The prophecy has chosen its heir," Noctara said softly. The wind stopped. The world held its breath. The pale circle in the sky widened into a silver halo around the moon. Nearby stars flickered, then bowed, lowering themselves toward Salus as though honoring a king. "No," Salus whispered. "I'm not a king. You only need to follow me," Noctara said. She extended her hand. "To the lunar gate." Salus hesitated, terrified, yet longing for the truth about himself and the mother he never knew. Slowly he reached out. He took her hand. The stars bowed lower, and the night deepened. Salus followed Noctara into a forest transformed by moonlight. The path beneath their feet glowed faintly, reflecting the halo widening around the moon. Every step rippled silver through the underbrush. Though he had walked these woods his whole life, tonight they felt unfamiliar, awake, aware. "Is this really happening?" Salus asked. "It has been happening since the night you were born," Noctara replied. He gripped the crescent-shaped pendant at his chest. Once simple silver, it now pulsed with life, reshaped by the calling of the silver crown. "When you say the crown calls to me, what does that even mean?" "It means you hear a voice you pretend not to hear." The trees grew taller, their bark shimmering with pale light. Leaves formed a tunnel overhead. "Is it supposed to look like this?" Salus whispered. It always looks like this, Noctara said. You just weren't meant to see it until tonight. The forest hummed softly. The leaves seemed to whisper his name. What is this place? The moonlit road, she answered. It remembers all who walked before you. Others, like me? Her silence told him everything. They reached a glade marked by a rune-carved stone. Noctara raised a hand. Stop! Salus froze. His shadow shifted with the moonlight. Noctara's did not move at all. He shivered. You're not a normal traveler? No, she said. I am the last of the lunar sentinels. Your mother bound me to the lunar gate. And to you. My mother? When you are ready, you will know the full truth. Above them, the halo around the moon widened. Stars bent ever so slightly toward Salus. Why is the sky doing that? The silver crown echoes through it, Noctara said. It exists between worlds. That makes no sense. It will. Stone pillars rose from the ground, carved with spirals and moon symbols. This place is older than Asteron, Salus whispered. Much older, Noctara said. The moon remembers all things, even those that no longer exist. So it remembers my mother too? Yes, she said. And she remembers you. He swallowed. Why me? You were born beneath the eclipse that split the sky. The crown recognized your heart. They reached a tall arch of white stone filled with shimmering light. The air grew cold. A voice echoed. Who seeks the moonlit crown? He is Salus, Noctara said. Child of Selene. Let him prove his heart. A figure of silver light appeared. It will test you, Noctara whispered, by showing you the truth you fear most. Light struck Salus. Darkness swallowed the world. Salus stood alone on the cliff. You are not enough, his own voice whispered. Shadows formed the shapes of people he loved. You are nothing, they said. Then a woman stepped forward, silver-haired, gentle-eyed. Mother, Salus whispered. She touched his cheek. Walk without fear. I don't know how. You only need to take the next step. Light cracked the darkness. Salus collapsed back into the valley. Noctara steadied him. You faced the truth, she said. The gate guardian bowed. The first gate opens. A moonlit bridge stretched ahead. Come, Salus, Noctara said. The lunar gate waits. He stepped forward. The moonlit bridge shimmered like frozen mist beneath Salus's feet. Spun of pure moon glow, it stretched across a vast emptiness. Silent, endless, unbroken. No wind touched it. No shadow fell upon it. Only the bowed stars above moved, whispering in pulses of light. It feels like we're walking on the sky, Salus murmured. We are, Noctara replied. The bridge appears only for the heir of the silver crown. The halo around the moon widened. Salus swallowed hard. If I fail? The halo will collapse, Noctara said, and the stars will turn their faces away. As they walked, Salus felt a strange vibration inside his bones. The stars above flickered in small, rhythmic pulses. Silent whispers felt rather than heard. Noctara, do you hear that? I do not hear what you hear, she said. They speak only to you. Why? Because they remember what you are. Salus clenched his jaw. And what am I? The child of Selene, Noctara said softly. The boy born beneath the eclipse that should not have been. the air hidden from the court so your heart would remain uncorrupted. By who? My father? The kingdom? My mother? Noctara's silence returned, heavy and protective. Your mother made choices, she said at last. Choices the night is still paying for. The darkness beneath the bridge shifted, swirling like a deep ocean. Shapes moved within it. What is that? Salus whispered. The star echo, Noctara said. The memory of stars that no longer exist. Bright shapes rose from below. Pale blue, gold, massive, tiny, drifting like ancient spirits. They're beautiful, Salus breathed. And dangerous, Noctara warned. One surged upward, a radiant form rushing toward them. Noctara passed straight through Salus. He staggered, and suddenly stood in a moonlit hall of marble. A silver-haired woman turned toward him. Warm eyes, familiar, impossible. Mother, he whispered. She smiled. Do not fear the road ahead, my son. He reached for her. The vision shattered. Back on the bridge, Salus trembled. Noctara steadied him. Star echoes show memories, not always truth. Salus's breath shook. You knew her. Yes. You saw her. Yes. And you still won't tell me anything? When the truth will not break you, Noctara whispered. You will know. In the distance, an outline glowed, a shimmering ring of light, a crown-shaped circle made of moonlight. Noctara, is that the crown? Yes, but you may not approach. Salus stepped closer. His pendant pulsed. Then light erupted from the distant crown, slamming into Salus's chest. He fell to one knee. What was that? The weight of the crown, Noctara said. The burden of expectation. You felt only a fraction. It felt like the world was crushing me. Yes, that is what kingship is. Salus stared at the flickering outline. And my mother carried that? For longer than any mortal could bear. The end of the bridge rose ahead, a towering arch of moonstone rippling with mist. The second gate. Images floated across its surface. A young woman holding a silver crown. A shadowed figure turning away. A child wrapped in moonlight. A throne left empty. Those are my mother's memories, Salus whispered. Yes, Noctara said. The gate reveals what it wills. The arch glowed. A voice whispered, Your name weighs upon you. Salus stepped forward. Then show me how to carry it. The mist parted. The second gate opened. Salus stepped into the second gate and found himself in the Hall of Quiet Light, a vast chamber woven of pale moon glow. Tall pillars shimmered faintly, holding memories of forgotten nights. The still floor reflected his steps like a silver lake. This place, Salus whispered. The Hall of Quiet Light, Noctara said. Where the Moonlit King is tested not by choice, but by truth. There was no throne, no crown, only stillness. We wait, she told him. For what? He asked. For the hall to decide your next step. A chime echoed through the hall, soft, crystalline. Then another. Ripples of light swept across the pillars. It begins, Noctara whispered. A figure formed in the glow. A woman cloaked in moonlight. Salus's breath caught. Mother! Noctara placed a firm hand on his shoulder. That is not Celine. It is the hall's memory reflecting your longing. The figure smiled, a perfect imitation. Salus, You were never meant to carry my burden. I left so you could live peacefully." "That is not true," Noctara said sharply. "Do not believe its illusions." The figure dissolved. In its place appeared a throne made of pure moonlight. "The moonlit throne," Noctara said. "Only the true heir can stand before it." Salus stepped forward. The hall darkened. The throne pulsed. A voice filled the chamber, ancient, emotionless. "The crown does not seek perfect hearts. It seeks true ones." Salus froze. "What do you carry, child of the veil? Fear or purpose?" I carry both." The throne brightened. "What do you desire?" "I want to know who I really am." The hall trembled. "And what do you fear most?" "That who I am is someone who fails." Light flickered. Silence followed. "You answered truthfully," Noctara said. "That is enough." But Salus felt something deeper awaken, as if the crown had listened. Images filled the hall. Selene raising the silver crown toward the sky. Selene kneeling beside a cradle, placing a crescent pendant on her infant son. Selene running through shadow storms with Salus held tightly to her chest. Salus's breath quivered. "She fought for me," he whispered. "She fought for the realm, for the crown, and for you," Noctara said. The hall dimmed. A soft heartbeat pulsed through the chamber. A strand of silver light descended from the ceiling, curling, shaping itself into a faint circle. A barely there crown. A whisper entered Salus's mind. "Salus!" He stiffened. "Noctara, did you hear that? You hear the crown for the first time. Child of the eclipse," the whisper breathed. "Walk forward." Salus stepped toward it. "Stop!" Noctara cried. The crown flared, releasing a blast that cracked the floor. Salus stumbled back. "What was that?" "The crown is warning you," she said. "You must approach only when your heart aligns with its light." "And I'm not ready." "Not yet." The crown dimmed again. The hall shifted. Pillars dissolved into mist. A downward path spiraled through silver fog. "The third gate waits," Noctara said. Salus looked once more at the fading outline of the silver crown, at memories of Selene, then followed Noctara into the fog. Salus and Noctara descended the veiled descent, an endless spiral of moonlit fog that hummed with ancient memory. The path grew colder as they walked, the air charged with quiet electricity. "What is this place?" Salus whispered. "The path only those touched by the crown may walk," Noctara said. "And you walked it?" Her silence answered him before she did. "Once." Fear, real fear, threaded her voice. The fog parted, revealing a vast chamber bathed in silver waterfalls that dissolved before touching the floor. At its center floated a mirror of crystal, perfect, still, impossibly clear. It reflected everything, except Salus. "Noctara, why don't I appear?" "Because the mirror shows truth," she said, "not the present, and your truth has not fully formed." Salus swallowed. "What does that mean?" "It means you are still becoming." The mirror rippled. "It begins," Noctara whispered. The mirror brightened, revealing a memory. Selene stood at the edge of a moonlit cliff, holding the silver crown. The sky churned violently above her. Stars bowed. Winds knelt. Salus stepped closer. "Mother!" She raised the crown. The sky tore open, half moonlight, half shadow, forming an unnatural eclipse. From the rift emerged a towering figure of shifting darkness. The Shadow Sovereign. "Selene," it said, its voice cold as collapsing stars. "You hold what belongs to me." "It belongs to no one," Selene answered. "Least of all you." The sovereign raised an arm. "Give me the crown." "I will do no such thing." Their confrontation carved the sky apart. The memory shifted. Dozens, then hundreds of warriors clad in silver armor formed a circle around Selene. The lunar sentinels. Noctara stiffened, breath trembling. "These were my sisters," she whispered. The sovereign unleashed a wave of darkness. The sentinels countered with moonlight. The clash shook the chamber as memory bled into sound and emotion. Several sentinels dissolved instantly into drifting starlight. "No," Noctara breathed. "They fought bravely." But Salus saw the truth. They were losing. Why didn't they run? Salus whispered. "We swore an oath. The crown above our lives. And you survived." "No," she said. "I was taken." Salus stared, but the mirror rippled again. Now Selene stood inside a ruined sanctuary, holding a small bundle, a baby wrapped in silver cloth. Salus's chest tightened. "That's you," Noctara said. Selene rocked the infant gently, though shadows tore at the sanctuary walls. She placed the crescent pendant on the baby's chest. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Forgive me." Salus pressed a hand to the mirror. Why is she apologizing? The answer came from the sovereign himself. The sovereign stepped into the sanctuary memory, towering over Selene and the child. "The child carries prophecy," the sovereign said. Selene stood tall, shielding the infant. "He carries hope." "He carries the rift," the sovereign corrected. "He is the fracture between light and shadow. The crown will consume him." "No," Selene said. "He will choose his path. I will return for him. Then I will not be here when you do." The sovereign laughed, an echoing void tearing at the memory. "Run if you wish. The eclipse will find the boy. And when it does, the sky will bow, not in honor, but in surrender." Salus trembled. "I'm not a rift," he whispered. "I'm not meant to destroy anything." Noctara grabbed his shoulders. "You are not a weapon. You are a choice. You can hold both light and shadow without breaking." Salus's breath shook. His truth was forming. The mirror dimmed. The memory ended. Silence, heavy, full, filled the chamber. "So the sovereign wants the crown," Salus said. "Yes. And he wants me." "Yes. Why?" "Because the crown obeys only one heart at a time," Noctara said. "If he takes it, eternal eclipse will fall." "And I'm supposed to stop him?" "No," she whispered. "You are supposed to choose whether to try." Salus looked down at his hands, and something inside him shifted. In the mirror, the faint outline of the silver crown flickered, watching, waiting. Salus stepped toward the lunar gate, a massive arch carved from shimmering lunar stone. Constellations shifted across its surface as if alive, guiding him forward. A single beam of moonlight illuminated the path, narrow, silent, sacred. Noctara remained behind him, her voice low. "This is where crowns choose kings, and where destinies seal themselves." Salus swallowed. "And if it rejects me, then the night must choose another." Her gaze softened. But I believe it won't. Salus took a breath and entered the gate. Inside, the world dissolved into weightless silver mist. Stars swirled beneath him like an endless ocean. Above him, the moon glowed softly, and before him hovered the silver crown, a perfect ring of moonlight, pulsing faintly like a sleeping heart. He reached toward it, but the crown rippled away. A voice filled the chamber. Do you seek the crown for power? No, I seek it for truth. Do you seek it for honor? No, honor isn't what the night needs. Do you seek it for light? Salus hesitated. No, I seek it because without someone to hold it, the night will break. The crown glowed brighter. Step forward. He moved toward it, and a blast of dark wind shattered the calm. A tear ripped open in the mist, spilling roaring shadow. From it emerged a towering figure of swirling darkness. The Shadow Sovereign. Child of Eclipse, he hissed. At last. Salus stumbled back. No, not here. Here most of all, the Sovereign said, stepping forward. For the crown is weakest during choosing. He extended a claw of smoke. Give it to me. I won't. You will. The Sovereign's presence pressed against Salus like collapsing night. Your mother ran from her fate, from the crown, from you. That's not true. Where is she now? The mist parted, revealing Selene on her knees, the silver crown shattered beside her, her body dissolving into starlight. Salus gasped. No, that's not. She gave her life to delay me, the Sovereign said, and the crown devoured the rest. Salus trembled, breaking. Then a soft voice drifted through the chamber. Salus, his mother's whisper. Not memory, not echo. Light. I did not leave you, she whispered. I became the light that guards your steps. The crown flared, and the Sovereign recoiled. You are not a rift, the crown whispered. You are the bridge. Salus lifted his head. I understand. The Sovereign lunged, but Salus stepped forward. No, you cannot stop me. I can choose. Silver radiance exploded from Salus's core, from the pendant, from his hands, from every memory Selene left behind. The Sovereign shrieked as the light slammed into him. The crown floated to Salus, glowing warmly. Are you willing? I'm terrified, he whispered, but I won't let the night fall. Then you are enough. The crown lowered onto his brow, weightless as breath, warm as moonlight. Power flooded the chamber. The rift sealed. The Sovereign screamed as moonlight bound him, pinning his darkness beneath dawn. One final roar, and he vanished. The chamber fell still. Salus stood crowned beneath the moon, and above him, the stars bowed, not in fear, not in surrender, in recognition. Noctara appeared beside him, eyes shining. You did what Selene could not, she whispered. You chose without breaking. Salus pressed a hand to his heart. Where is she now? In your courage, Noctara said softly. In the crown that remembers her light. A warm wind stirred. Starlight drifted around Salus like a mother's embrace. He closed his eyes, whole at last. Let's go home. The night follows you now, Noctara replied. Together, they stepped forward into a world newly protected by the Moonlit King. Thank you for listening to Sleep with Myth.